Have you ever been confused by programming concepts, especially when switching languages? If you're new to Kotlin and wondering about the difference between a class and an object, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into this topic and clearing up any confusion. I totally get it. Transitioning from Java to Kotlin can feel overwhelming, especially when the Android converter makes unexpected changes. You're not alone in feeling puzzled about why your Java class turned into a Kotlin object. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, "Why did the Android converter change my Java class to a Kotlin object?" This is a common concern for many developers making the switch. Let's explore this together. So what's the difference between a class and an object in Kotlin? In Kotlin, an object is a singleton, meaning it can only have one instance. This is different from a class, which can have multiple instances. Understanding this distinction is crucial for effective programming in Kotlin. And stick around. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the difference, but also how to effectively use both classes and objects in your Kotlin projects. To understand why the Android converter changed the Java class to a Kotlin object, let's first clarify the difference between a class and an object in Kotlin. In Kotlin, an object declaration creates a singleton, which means there is only one instance of that object. This is useful for utility classes or when you want to group related functions together. In the user's case, the original Java class contained a static method. The converter transformed it into an object because Kotlin does not have static methods. Instead, functions can be defined within an object. If the user prefers to use a class instead of an object, they can define a regular class and create a companion object for static-like behavior. This allows them to maintain a similar structure to their original Java code. In summary, the conversion from a Java class to a Kotlin object is due to Kotlin's design choices regarding static methods. The user can choose to use a class with a companion object if they need that structure. Fun fact, did you know that Kotlin was designed to be fully interoperable with Java? This means you can easily transition your Java code to Kotlin without losing functionality. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach, shared by another user, is to define functions directly in your Kotlin file without needing an object declaration. For instance, you can create a function called GenerateChecksumSumCR16 that takes a byte array as a parameter and returns an int. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. Building on the previous explanation, this user highlights the key difference between a class and an object in Kotlin. They provide an example where a class needs to be instantiated, while an object acts like a singleton and does not require instantiation. In their code example, they define a class called ExampleClass and an object called ExampleObject. The class requires creating an instance to call its method, while the object can directly call its method without instantiation. Here's a pro tip. When converting Java code to Kotlin, pay attention to how classes and objects are used. Embrace the object-oriented features of Kotlin to write cleaner and more efficient code. And there you have it. You now understand the difference between a class and an object in Kotlin. Keep experimenting with Kotlin and don't hesitate to reach out if you have more questions. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button for more programming tips